After years of publicly admiring Vladimir Putin's strong arm, US President Donald Trump has dramatically changed his rhetoric. Over the weekend, he said the Russian president has completely lost his mind. The comment came after another wave of Russian airstrikes on civilian targets in Ukraine, which have become a familiar element of the Kremlin's strategy. But behind the dry facts is the increasingly obvious mental aggravation of Putin himself, writes The Times. According to experts, the root of this madness is the Russian president's isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. While leaders in most of the world maintained a certain public mode, Putin literally disappeared from the scene. He spent up to 2 years in his residence at Novo-Ogarevo outside Moscow, avoiding any contact with even the highest officials. The residence was equipped with disinfection tunnels, and visitors, including veterans, had to undergo 2 weeks of isolation before the meeting. All of this limited Putin's communications to a tight circle of security officials led by Nikolai Patrushev, the man who propagated conspiracy theories about a US invasion, animal marriages in Europe, and the evacuation of Western elites to Siberia because of a supervolcano eruption. Psychologists and experts suggest that such isolation, coupled with paranoia and an information vacuum, may have significantly affected the Russian president's sanity. Former Kremlin advisor Gleb Pavlovsky confirms the previous Putin was sensible. Now he is reacting to the pictures in his own head. Political analyst Abbas Galyamov adds, when a person loses self-control, it doesn't end well. The signs of a radical change in Putin's behavior were first publicly noticed by then US Senator and new Secretary of State Marco Rubio back in February 2022 after the invasion of Ukraine. There is something wrong with Putin, he wrote on social media at the time, but while the words sounded like a warning then, today they sound like a diagnosis. Ironically, Putin is a prisoner of the political system he has built around himself for the past 24 years. Like many dictators, he cannot walk away from power and enjoy a quiet retirement, even if he wanted to. He is too attached to and dependent on the mind-boggling wealth and power he has accumulated during his time as a public servant. But even if Putin got to keep his palaces and yachts, there would be no guarantees of safety in retirement. If Putin gave up power, his successor might come after him. Putin's personal authority, charisma and influence would always be a threat to his successor as long as he was alive, a tempting target for the next ruler, and Putin knows it.
Russia's Baltic fleet has launched a scheduled naval exercise, the Russian military announced on Tuesday. According to Associated Press, more than 20 warships, boats, and support vessels are participating in the drills, including a frigate, corvettes, minesweepers, and small missile and anti-submarine ships. Around 3,000 servicemen, 25 aircraft and helicopters, and up to 70 units of military and special equipment are involved, officials said. According to the military, the ships have departed their bases and deployed to designated areas of the Baltic Sea to carry out combat training missions. The China-Cambodia Golden Dragon 2025 joint exercise staged a live force drill on Monday in both maritime and aerial zones near Cambodia's Sihanoukville port, Chinese state broadcaster CCTV reported. According to Associated Press, the operation, involving 11 naval vessels and 3 helicopters from both countries, simulated a scenario where terrorists hijacked a cargo ship, CCTV said. The joint forces carried out coordinated counter-terrorism and anti-hijacking missions, which included coordinated response, escort procedures, counter-terrorism and anti-piracy operations, as well as integrated maritime and air search and rescue efforts, according to the state media. Later in the day, the two forces held a closing ceremony for the drills. This is the first air-sea live force exercise in the Golden Dragon series of joint exercises, and the first time the Cambodia-China Joint Support and Training Center at Port Ream was utilized in the live force operation, according to state-owned Chinese news agency Xinhua. The joint military drill started May 14 and marks Cambodia's latest and largest joint drill with China. Cambodia is China's closest ally in Southeast Asia. Beijing has helped fund an expansion of the Ream naval base on Cambodia's southern coast, raising worries it could become a strategic outpost for the Chinese Navy in the Gulf of Thailand. Cambodia has repeatedly denied any agreement granting China special privileges or the establishment of a foreign military base.
收到解救被劫持船只指令后，中方长白山舰、攀枝花舰、广元舰和检方8艘舰艇迅速向目标海域机动，搜索被恐怖分子劫持的船只。发现可疑目标后，直升机起飞查证，确认目标为被劫持船只。经喊话劝降无果，舰艇编队转向进入射击阵围。主方做好对海射指挥，出发！中国海军攀枝花舰使用主炮对目标实施拦阻射击，直升机发射热铀弹进行警告，逼停被劫持船只。舰艇编队对恐怖分子实施风控警戒，突击艇快速前出，突击小队登上被劫持船只进行临检拿捕。缉拿过程中，恐怖分子拒不投降，负隅顽抗，导致人员落水，直升机前出进行救捞。舰艇接收到伤员后，随舰中检双方医护人员进行现场紧急救治。待伤员生命体征平稳后，直升机将其转运后方医院治疗。
互相交流学习，共同提高，期待组织更大规模的两国海空军联演。
空联和实兵演练是首次依托中检云壤港联合保障和训练中心组织实兵演练。实兵演练聚焦海上联合反恐反劫持行动，重点演练联合响应伴随。实兵演练结束后，在海军长白山舰举行结束仪式。